SENTB, the better global transfer service. With just a click.
What you gonna do?
Within a blink. Handy global transfers. Simpler, smarter, better. SENTB.
Good evening, everyone. From the today's SONSIK Open Forum. So SONSIK is Society of Nepalese Students in Korea. So which is a founding society for the student who is coming from the Nepal to study in Korea. So I am Narayan Sonar from the Mokpo National University pursuing my PhD. Got the scholarship from the BK21-4, which on the Department of Biomedicine, Health, Life, and Convergent Science. So on today's open forum on the title of Voice of Global Talent, Navigating Life and Cultures in Korea from the three countries, Philippines, Kazakhstan, and Nepal. So I myself from the Nepal. So one of our guests for today's event from the Philippines, I'd like to call Miss Ewha Dela Cruz, who's pursuing MBA in Korean language and cultural education. She is from Philippines and studying in the Korea University. She's also associated with as a vice president for the external affairs in the Korea University. And she got the scholarship of PICO, which is a Philippines scholarships in Korea. So we welcome Miss Ewha Dela Cruz.
Yes, thank you, Narayan, for that wonderful introduction, and thank you to SONSIK as well for inviting me to this open forum today.
Yes, it's a pleasure to welcome you, Miss Ewha. So before starting with that, it's congratulations for the appearing as from the Philippines to getting the scholarship of PICO. So let us starting with the sharing your experience of lifestyles as a student in Korea. Please share a bit about your lifestyles. Thank you.
Okay. I came here in Korea last September for my master's program, but even before that, I've been coming back and forth here in Korea for other programs as well. But it's my my second time here as a student. So previously, I've been here as an exchange student, but as a master's student, I feel like it's an entirely different experience because there's lab work that you have to deal with, or like study sessions you have to work with. And I think in particular, being a master's student, what's especially new for me is having to interact with both or work with both Koreans and foreigners in my program. So although my major is Korean language and culture education, I really get to mingle with both foreigners and Koreans, and of course in the Korean language. So as a foreigner here studying in Korea, I feel like it's a great opportunity for me as well, like getting to mingle with both locals and fellow international students in the program.
Thank you for letting know the experience and lifestyle. Although it's like being a short period of the time which you appear, and you are appearing for the masters, which is in the good term of the degree when compared to the bachelor and the long-term PhD. So and itself in the Korean language. So how about the celebrating the cultural diversity? What are the Philippines cultural and the Korean culturals and the diversity, and how you are managing to being celebration of this culture in Korea, being from the Philippines?
I think here in Korea, there's really a lot of Filipino communities building their own groups here in Korea. Like there's a community for international students, like PICO, the one I'm in, and there's also communities for immigrants who have married Koreans here in Korea. There's a community, religious communities as well. So each of these communities also have their own way of celebrating Filipino culture here in Korea, and vice versa, like teaching Philippine culture to Koreans and inviting Koreans to teach their culture to Filipinos. So there's a lot of communities, lots of groups, organizations here in Korea that host those kinds of events. I think especially this year, it marks the 75th anniversary of the diplomatic relationship between Philippines and Korea. So this year, there's so far it's only July. Like we're still have a half a year left, but there's a lot of events hosted by the Philippine embassy and the Korean embassy as well. To celebrate that 75th year anniversary, like sharing the culture of each countries and um, inviting each other to diplomatic events, political events. So there's a lot of that, more than I thought.
That's absolutely fantastic. By the sounding, the diverse in the culture among the Philippines and
Yeah.
Korea. You are also associated as a vice president for the external affairs. So, what are the responsibility you are handling from the university, and how much you have a role and responsibility being as an external affairs handling for the university?
Yeah. For my role as a vice president for external affairs in PICO, um, I'm mostly in charge of um, forming or building connections with current members and alumni members. So members have already graduated, and aside from that, connecting with other youth organizations, student organizations, as well, like SONSIK as well, and like collaborating, exchanging invitations to events, and connecting with the schools of where our members are stationed at, so we could help them adjust in their specific universities, or if they have any problems, we could like be a liaison for them. So that's what I mostly do in my organization.
That sounds lots of responsibility as the vice president in the external affairs. So now we got more interested to know about the PICA, which is a scholarship for the Philippines students. So can you share some more about what kind of scholarship it is, how many students are recruiting, and so, or if you have some presentation, so you can share with us about that scholarship.
Yeah, I love to introduce Picot to you guys. I actually have a presentation prepared, so um,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, it's not really a long one, so it's mostly just
Okay.
big questions on Picot. Oh yeah, there we have it. Okay, yeah. So you could just call us Picot, but it's basically short for Pinoy Scholars sa Korea, which in English is Filipino Scholars in Korea. So it's pretty much like SONSIK. And I'm curious as well. Maybe you could introduce SONSIK later, like how many students you have, or
Sure, sure.
how you're preparing. Yeah. As for Pico, our organization was established in 2006. Although back then there weren't actually a lot of Filipino students in Korea. Like there was only like less than 50 throughout the entire country. And I think this year or recently, there's around 600 students, yeah, Filipino students in South Korea. It's actually not a lot compared to, students from Vietnam, Thailand, or other Southeast Asian countries. So for Filipinos, only around 600. And for those students who are members of PICO, it's only around 100 to 200. So not everyone is a member of PICO, but we're trying to like reach as much Filipino students as we can, because we have a lot of events that help in um, fostering camaraderie between Filipino students here in Korea. So for example, we have this like picture on the left. That's our welcome assembly and acquaintance party. So it's an event where our members could get to know more about the organization, living in Korea, and just getting to know each other. And on the right, that's where we acknowledge the our members who are able to publish papers for the year, or members who have graduated. So we give them certificates, We give them medals, and usually it's held at the Philippine Embassy. And speaking of the Philippine Embassy, we also join a lot of their events. Like on the left is we have a get together kind of thing during the summer. So this one was actually held today. Like before joining the session, I went to this event a while ago. It's an event where we get to like know Filipino students from around the country. And on the right, it's a celebration of the 75th year anniversary of the diplomatic relationship of Philippines and Korea. So it's kind of a festival, and it was held in Busan. So, and for PICO itself, we're actually organizing a lot of events as well for our members and also of the communities we're part of. Like, for example, we're hosting the ASEAN Youth Career Summit because Philippines is part of the ASEAN community. So for that, we're holding a career-related event, which will be held next month on August 9 and 10. And for our members and Filipino students in Korea, we have a research colloquium. I think SONSIK has a similar event. It's an event where our Filipino students can present or share their research to each other. Aside from that, we also promote scholarship opportunities to Filipinos who want to study in Korea, like the GKS scholarship or the KOICA scholarship. So there's that. And on the right, that's a picture of our members having trips in Busan and going out just to have fun and get to know each other, like bonding sessions. So yeah, that's basically short introduction of PICO. And I think we try our best to have an event once a month, just so we could do something for the community and for our members as well.
Thank you for the complete description about the PICO. I have felt so good to know that the organization is providing some awards for the publications from the students among the Philippines and the Koreas. That's a boost of the encouragement about the students to get more research and the work in details. So, and the society is quite similar. Among the student community, we try to merge and provide the platform for the students. Even in the SONSIK, we do the conference, as you said, and we have lots. However, we don't have a plan of like kind of trip because the number of the student is very high, and we don't able to manage, I think. But in the near future, I think SONSIK also want to arrange some program like for the tour plan among the interaction to the Nepalese students. Talking about that, there are the more than 6,000 on an average students in the recently in the Korean from the Nepal, and every semester and the year the number is quite increasing because Korea is one of the merging hub for the students, and the university is providing good platform with lots of good faculty and the progress. Even the lifestyle is quite similar and more advanced in the Korea. So Nepalese students are quite accepted to this environment. So what are the problems and the facing by the students, and then how the PICO is helping the students when there is a certain kind of problem is merging Philippine students facing, and how they will act or play the role among the students and the Korean government. Those there certain kinds of rules regulation is maintaining by the PICOs or governing some program for such awareness program.
Um, Actually, thankfully, we don't. Our like members don't experience much problems with in terms of living in Korea. I think
Right.
problems are mostly academic, like
Yeah.
if they need help with their paper, need help with collecting data for their research, we help them like with disseminating that information or that their survey to our like network. Um, and I think there are a lot of members who come here to Korea not knowing even a single bit of Korean, the Korean language. So I think language barrier is also one of the common problems. So with that, we 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 help them connect with members who are fluent in Korean, or host like review sessions, especially for the topic, the test of proficiency in Korean language. So we hold them from time to time whenever our members need to like get some, more personal teaching sessions.
Okay, that's really good part of like societies which provide for the students. How about the students like any facing the job responsibility along with their financial? So do the pickup play a role for the providing such job or financially add up for the students?
Oh yeah, there's well, most of the Filipinos who come to Korea already come here with a scholarship, but sometimes, the scholarship is not really enough for for our students to like, have 3 meals a day. Sometimes it's just not enough. So um well, we tap like foundations that provide scholarships to Filipinos or ASEAN citizens, and like we forward them to our members, or we give recommendations, especially when for those members who are in need of those scholarships. And also we regularly partner with um, corporations, so we could like negotiate a job opportunity for our members as well.
Thank you for this insight. I think industrial handling part is very big responsibility to the society to for managing the financial add up for the students because it is quite difficult. And how about the expenses? Do you feel it is quite expensive in the Korean lifestyle compared to the Philippines, or like what are the ratios? Because we don't know much of about that. That is also a
Yeah,
part of the important culture. Yeah.
yeah, I think it will be the same. I assume in the case of Nepal, like the cost of living is really twice. I think twice as much. Everything is twice as much, and especially when it comes to students who want to live out the dorm, like the main problem would be, the deposit, the term of deposit here in Korea. Like you don't just pay rent. Like before signing a contract with them for an apartment or a studio room, you need to like pay 5 million deposit upfront. So I think that's one of the biggest barriers for students. And I think the only cheap ones here in Korea compared to the Philippines are those that you could get at Daiso. But yeah, aside from that, everything else is really expensive. So scholarships is really very important for us.
Thank you. I think it's quite similar for the Nepalese student. It's not double. I think for the Nepalese students, the expenses things like triple or quadruple for that. But however, the Nepalese students are in the early stage. They feel like quite expensive. Whenever
Mhm.
the lifestyle is quite adapted by the students, and then it is adjustable when they start to earn or do part time and they know much about the Korean, so they can earn and then manage their economical part, and then the lifestyle is quite acceptable compared to like in Nepal. How about the scopes or the job opportunities Philippines have after studying from the Korea, or the what the perception of the students from the Philippines to stay in Korea or continue the studies or the job? What are the mindsets you came to know among the Philippine students?
I feel like that's kind of half half. Like, there are a lot of students who want to like continue staying here because, well, the pay is higher, and um, they say they prefer the work life balance or the work culture here in Korea compared to the Philippines. And it's generally much more comfortable to live here in Korea compared to our country. But on the other hand, there are some people who want to go back to the Philippines just because, they have their family and friends there. And in Philippine culture, like family is a big, it's really an important part of our culture. So a lot of students like want to go back just for that reason.
And what is the ratio of the undergrads and grads and PhD students from the Philippines to the Korea, and what is the number of day by day increasing, or it's like they are choosing the other country from the Philippines?
Actually, it's increasing mostly because of the Korean government's efforts. Like the Korean government gives out a lot of scholarships. It's been increasing every year. So because of that, more and more Filipinos would come to the Korea. So for example, I think around 10 years ago, for in the case of the GKS scholarship, there were only around 10, oh no, less than 10, around 7 graduate students who
Okay.
came to South Korea. But this year, there's around 40. So
Hmm.
it's really a
It's a
big
huge number.
increase. Yeah.
All right.
And it's same for the undergrad. Like 10 years ago, there's only like 1, 2 undergrad students that get to come here to Korea under that scholarship. But this year, there's like around 15. So it's more than a 10 times increase.
Increase. And the similar way in the Nepal, from the Nepal, the ratio of increasing among like there's from the 2 decades, the students are gradually increasing to coming to Korea from the Nepal. However, these numbers became in the thousand every semester. So entering the Nepalese students, and before it was for the masters and the PhD. So like we also came for the PhD, but now the undergrads are also enrolling in the much number because the university has started to accepting in the English language as their degree, and they're also providing the degree in the English language. So being in Korea, and then the platform is good, well, so the increasing the number from the Nepal is quite high in 1,000. I wish from the Philippines also start to increase in the number from the century to 1,000, and then there's lots of chances. And it's quite difficult being a single associations or the societies we are maintaining to cover up all the student. And however, we are trying to increase the number and being the parent to the students being in that society, because we are only the authorized society registered as the from in Korea from the Nepal. And however, there are lots of club among the university which are maintaining their number of the students and their lifestyles in the Korea being from the Nepal. So that's really good. I think do we have any kind of questions? So we try to face, or do you like there is any questions around the Facebook, or I'll just come to check is there is like any kind of questions among the our platform. Do the students want to know? However, we are looking for the late joining of from the Kazakhstan, because we should know that Kazakhstan is landlord country like Nepal.
Yeah.
We welcome Batu Khan from the Kazakhstan Association Society in Korea, student association in Korea. So uh, please let us know much about the Kazakhstan's and you, so we can talk much about the Kazakhstan's student associations. Among that, we
Okay,
welcome you.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
You are audible. Yes.
let me just introduce myself firstly. So I'm from Kazakhstan Students Association. Abbreviation is
Welcome you, sir.
KSAK, as its name. So I've been to Korea for 4 years, I guess. And initially I came just a student. Just this year I finished my bachelor's degree. It was at Sejong University. And actually, there are a lot of Kazakhstan students and people in Korea. Many of them come to work, many of them come to study, many just like ethnical Koreans. And as well as many people, there are also a lot of Kazakhstan associations in different universities. like our university has ones, there's global KSAK, and I think maybe every city has one or two associations, just local for organizing events like cultural, celebrating holidays.
Thank you for letting know the insights about the Kazakhstan associations, student association in Korea. So, how many the number of the students and the undergrads and graduates are in the society, and what are the roles played or the functions you are conducting for the Kazakhstan's student associations? Please let us know the insight.
Okay, so now we have around 30 members of KSAK, and our organization KSAK is aimed at students. There is also one global, which aimed at people of all ages from Kazakhstan. But our main focus is just to help Kazakhstan students um, adapt to life in Korea, like when they first come to Korea. There's not much information, especially if they don't know language. So we're just trying to organize events for Korean introducing Korean cultures. We're also trying to organize some educational events. And as for last events, our attenders were mainly from Seoul universities. But our plan is now just to extend to other cities like Daejeon and Busan. But for now, we organized events only for Seoul and Daejeon students. It was more like cultural. And we have another feature of KSAK is that we have direct bonds with Kazakhstan embassy, and we also have several chats in Telegram, in WhatsApp, so every student can join and ask directly from embassy. So it's much easier for some common questions, problems to be solved.
Thank you
So, like,
for latest
yeah.
know this. Yeah. I think that communications from the embassy is quite a strong part, and we also want to make such in from the for the Nepalese society that we can make a like a telegram or some other channel direct to the embassies. So whenever there is issues or any application process, so students can contact to the embassy. So we also try to enroll. Do the Philippines also have the same kind of the channels, Miss Aya?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Do there is certain channels like for the from the Telegram or the Instagram or the WhatsApp social channels where there the Philippines students direct contact to the embassy and to the PICO?
Yeah, we have like we actually have a lot of group chats on KakaoTalk. Like we have our very big open group chat where all members, even those who have graduated, can join. And then we have different group chats per region, like those in Seoul, those in Gangwon, those in Gyeongsang-do. We have those group chats, and we also have a Facebook group where we share news, job opportunities, scholarships to our members as well.
That's like in the very good way that we can communicate. However, like for the SONSIK, as the students is quite increasing the number, we first develop the site for the students in the Korea, and then we also direct merge with the embassy for the attending all the cultural activities for the represent the Nepal. And now we are on the stage to develop an app for the students in the Korea, for the Nepalese student, so they can interact and all the functions and the conference and the publications and all the new notice, even to the like vacancies from the different scholarship of universities, and as well as to the government university scholarships which are appearing to that, so we can provide to and pass the message to the among the Nepalese students who are undergrads, and also to the like Nepal. So the Nepalese students can apply and get the scholarship and come to the Korea and complete their career lifestyles and their goals. So I think we have quite similar in this field of area. What are the cultural activity part is handling by the Kazakhstan student associations, and how is like cultural diversity in among the Kazakhstan and the Korea? Please let us know, Mr. Batukhan.
Okay, so maybe you know, Kazakhstan is post-Soviet country, so we have two main languages, which is Russian and Kazakh, and also like sort of official, not official, but like English is taught at school. So we're trying to gather more people of different nationalities at our events. So we always have four translations in our events. One is in Kazakh native language for most of our attendees. Second is Russian, it's the same as Kazakh. And we provide English and Korean translations for Korean and international students. So anyone can join our events. We just posted about it in Instagram and other social media, and everyone can bring friends and can understand easily like details of our events.
Okay. And how about the Kazakhstan Student Association? Is the solo body in the Korea which is managing the Kazakhstan students, or there are multiple associations in the Korea for the Kazakhstan students?
There are several, but as I said, they are local, like just university associations which help with university events, and our is in Seoul and Daejeon.
Okay. That sounds really perfect. So, what about the lifestyles of like students want to go back after they study in Korea to Kazakhstan, or they are the lots of number which are growing to develop in the being after like after finishing their graduation to join the companies in the Korea and continuing her lifestyles. So, what is the
Some
ratios? You are yeah.
I don't exact numbers, but think
Okay.
some of them stay, but majority go back to Kazakhstan because now Kazakhstan is trying to develop bonds with Korea. We we're opening our universities in Kazakhstan, and there are a lot of exchange programs. So I guess majority of students just come back to Kazakhstan.
That's really good to build up the country, because we are in the similar phase where there we need to develop our country. So yeah, most of the Nepalese also go back to their country or to the other country and then try to build up the nation after the um, completion of their courses. So which help to the students. However, there's a loss of advancement in the Korea. So they want to learn that as well in the higher level so they can back to the country and build up. So what is the financial issues facing when the students has come to Korea from the Kazakhstan, Mr. Batkhan?
So, let me think.
Yes, sure. Take your time.
I think it's common between everyone. I mean, every international students. Like you can't have full. I mean, you can't have a good part-time job without Korean. So
Okay. And what about the adapting the Korean language? It is quite easy for the Kazakhstan because we
mm,
Nepalese is quite very difficult for the newcomers.
uh, I think it's a little bit easy because in some classifications, Kazakh and Korean go under same kind of languages, under the same family group. Sorry,
Groups.
and we have very similar structure, and there are also a lot of Korean schools. So I think it's not that difficult as compared
If,
to maybe native English speakers. No.
right. How about Philippines students, Miss Aya? What is the like adapting the Korean language is easy or like quite difficult for the students? They take like lots of year to adapt their language.
For Filipinos, actually, the um, pronunciation of Korean is similar to our language. So learning Korean in the beginning is easy, but like getting
Right.
better at it, getting fluent, that's a bigger challenge because like the grammar is always different.
Right. Do you like Miss Aya have or Mr. Batukan have any questions regarding for the Nepalese students or regarding the SONSIK? Then please let us know so we can discuss here as well.
I think you mentioned a while ago that you have, sorry, what's the number of Nepali students here in Korea again?
It's lump sum 6,000 recently.
6,000.
I came to know, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
and like
6,000.
they're not all part of SONSIK yet, right? Or that's just within SONSIK.
Pardon?
Those 6,000, is that the members of SONSIK or like all the Nepalese students in
No,
Korea?
all the Nepalese students in Korea. So we try to increase. However, like our society is not think about the number which want to join the SONSIK, because whenever there is even the SONSIK member is not there and they are the Nepalese students, so we consider them as for our association, and we directly or indirectly try to play a role when they have any kind of issues, including their studies financially, or there is a certain government issues, or there is some legal process. So we try to play a role because we have seniors among the Nepalese students from 2 decades. So they are in the vital post among the different part of the Korea, and from the different Korean universities, most of becomes the professor. So still they are consider them as a alumni for the SONSIK. So they actually play a role to maintain that. So we consider everyone like Nepalese students who are in the SONSIK. So we said like that 60,000 in the number. However, in the normal program, we average. We used to now this year in 2023-24, the average students in any program, like we conduct the sports, we conduct the conference, and then other like festivals, like we celebrate Nepalese festival in Korea. So the number of participants is like 2 to 500 in between. So it will be the average number wherever, because of the location and the time for the students, it's quite changed. But on general, there is a 200 to 500 every times we are looking at that. I think in the conference recently we had in the last month, there are the 350 students which participate in the conference, and there are lots of presentations among that. So we have like big family as a Nepalese students at something. So, talking about that, what are the unique aspects of Philippines culture that I feel are important to share and celebrate with the peers in Korea? So,
Hmm. I think like have Koreans have Chuseok,
yeah,
and Sonar, like the New Year
right.
thing. Um, well, that's something that we don't have in the Philippines because what we have is the biggest celebration we have is Christmas. So we usually like celebrate that starting September up until December. But anyway, Christmas is very big in the Philippines. So um, in our organization, Pico as well, we hold that annually. It's one of our like most it's one of the events that our students, our members look forward to the most. Um, so yeah, I think that's something that it's very important to our culture. That so even if we're here in Korea, where Christmas is not as big, we still celebrate it as if we're back in the Philippines.
Okay, so that is the main festivals which the grandly used to celebrate, which is a kind of lacking in the Korean lifestyle. So, how about Mr. Batukan? What are the unique aspects of cultural celebrations in the Kazakhstan, which are celebrated, but you are lacking in the Korea?
Uh, I think there's not much, not so many similarities. Like our main celebration is in March, It's like Kazakh New Year, and like main Korean is in September, Chuseok.
Okay.
But since we're in Korea and it's Kazakhstan station, we're trying to focus on both, and we conduct events on Aris in March and on Chuseok in Korea. On Chuseok in September. So we're trying to use every holiday to plan our events.
Okay, but in our country, Nepal, we celebrated lots of festival. I think most of the calendar is, and every month we have a lots of grand festivals. Among that, most of the festivals is in September, October, which is a Dasai, and the Tihar, which is a grand festival in Nepal. Throughout the country, we celebrate because we have lots of diversities in the country itself. There are lots of festivals in the different region, but among that, the Tihar and the same we used to celebrate grandly. So we try to maintain that cultural in the Korea itself, and we as a SONSIK try to organize those events to gather all the students, and we try to celebrate that. Among that, other than that, there's Holi and other festivals which are we celebrate grandly, and then that is the measure where we, if we not organize any program, then there will be kind of homesick start to face by the students. So we SONSIK try to manage that festival, because the cultural is the part where when among the lifestyle of the students start to feel like boring when we are in the other or the abroad country. So that is the main part we used to do. I think we have in details of the diversity, cultural activities, and the lifestyles of the students of Philippines, Kazakhstan, and the Nepal in the today's this open forum program. Do we have any kind of questions, or we are about to end closer to the end of the event? So I think there is in the Facebook and other. I'll just look at that. There is no much questions regarding the diversities and then global talents which navigating the lifestyles and culture in Korea. I think it's great to know. The associations of PICO and the Kazakhstan student associations, hope we're gonna meet in the different association program, and we wish to invite you all in our future events, and as well as we gather and try to make a better community for the foreigners who are staying in the Korea, and for the students and for the betterment of the lifestyle. Thank you, everyone. If we have any question, please let us know, or we try to end up today's session. Miss Aya, do you have anything to share us?
I think I'm good. It's very great of you to invite us here.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Aya and Mr. Badkhan, to arrange your time
Thank
for
you.
today's events. And it is good to know that such the countries are having the good associations for the take caring of the students. And we SONSIK also want to build the relationship among the other countries for the betterment and the better platform for the students. Thank you for your great times. And we also thank to the team of the SONSIK who played a vital role for maintaining these open forum sessions. And we soon gonna change our annual election teams. So we're gonna celebrate the AGM on the 17th and 18th August of next month. So where there is a new leaders who are coming among the students who handle the SONSIK in better way. Thank you.
SENTB, the better global transfer service. With just a click.
What you gonna do?
Within a blink. handy global transfers. Simpler, smarter, better. SENPI.